record set last year by 6 degrees. Santa Ana got to 114, which broke their all-time record of 112, set 101 years ago.
The World Cup semifinals have ended. Croatia beat host Russia, and England defeated Sweden 2-0. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Dell knows there's nothing small about your small business. That's why this is their biggest Black Friday and July sale ever. Get up to 40% off and shop deals on PCs with Intel Core processors, plus enjoy free shipping on everything. Dell's small business technology advisors are waiting to help you find the best deals on the right tech for your needs at 877-BUY-DELL. To shop savings that are anything but small, visit Dell.com/business deals or call 877-BUY-DELL.
The national debt is now over $20 trillion. What happens next? Rising inflation, drops in the dollar's value. Some experts say another crash is coming. You can fight this, not with stocks or bonds, but with gold and silver coins in an IRA from Augusta Precious Metals. Call 855-858-5807 and learn how an IRA backed by physical gold and silver can hedge against inflation. Call Augusta Precious Metals right now at 855-858-5807 and get a free gold IRA guide. Call 855-858-5807.
The LAPD and the ATF have seized nearly 50 so-called ghost guns from LA-based gangs.
It's a popular trend among gang members and growing, purchasing unfinished gun parts over the internet or from gun shows, then finishing them with a little work and the right tools, assembling them, and then using them in crimes, as these guns are untraceable.
If they can't buy them, they're making them.
ATF Special Agent in Charge, Bill McMullen.
Or they're paying other people to make those weapons for them in order to get around the gun laws.
Along with the 50 guns and parts, 10 gang members are now off the streets as a result of a 6-month joint investigation between the LAPD and the ATF. Jim Roop, Los Angeles.
Top story of the hour, at least 4 of the 12 boys trapped in a cave in northern Thailand for 15 days were taken out today, but it could be many more hours, even days, before all of them have been rescued. An American source says the operation has been suspended until tomorrow. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Red, white, and blue savings at the Home Depot means the best prices of the season on appliances, up to 40% off special buys, like the Whirlpool Top Freezer Stainless Steel Refrigerator for just $528, $250 off. Adjustable bins make room for anything. Plus, we even have free delivery. Consider that dessert. Red, white, and blue savings now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through July 11th, U.S. only while supplies last. Free delivery on purchases of $396 or more.
That dollar in your pocket, it's worth more than you think. Because at Wendy's, $1's all you need to pick up the new Buffalo Ranch Crispy Chicken Sandwich. Hey, you deserve the most bang for your buck. Now you got it. Hot, crispy chicken topped with melty Monterey Jack and creamy Buffalo Ranch sauce. With this much flavor in one sandwich, $1's worth more than ever. The $1 Buffalo Ranch Crispy Chicken Sandwich. More flavor, $1. For a limited time at Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's. Price and participation may vary in Alaska and Hawaii.
It's time for a Tire Truth. The only time your tires were truly new was when they were mounted on your car. But with every mile you drive, your tires wear down and their ability to perform on the road changes. How do you know if your worn tires are safe? Well, you don't. Not unless they've been designed and tested with worn performance in mind, like tires from Michelin. So make the upgrade to a more confident drive and drive away with little extra savings. Cutting Edge Automotive, your official Michelin dealer. Find us at cuttingedge505.com.
Spanish tapas and wines in downtown Santa Fe. La Boca brings friends together to share plates of unique and delicious modern Spanish cuisine by Chef James Campbell Caruso. La Boca offers an exceptional blend of locally grown foods along with the finest Spanish imports. For 10 years, locals and travelers have gathered at La Boca for tapas, wine, lunch, and dinner. Now with expanded dining rooms, outdoor patio, and a live music tavern.
Visit online at labocasantafe.com.
Your Sunday morning dose of reality is now. Open your mind to Santa Fe's non-GMO, purely organic source of common sense. This is Call to Reason with your host, Loveless Johnson III, here on KTRC, Santa Fe's news talk leader.
White supremacy is conscious or unconscious belief in the inherent superiority of one and the inherent inferiority of the other. could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say them loud, say them clear, for the whole round me. I wish I could share all the love that's in my heart. Remove all the bars that keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means.
Welcome,
to be
world.
me.
Welcome, Saturday.
Then you'd
Good
see
morning, good Sunday
and agree
morning right
that
here
every
in the
man
studios.
should
Talk
be
12,
free.
60.
I wish I could give all I'm
You're on Call to Reason, and you are with
give,
Douglas and Beth.
but I wish I could
Beth,
live
how are you
like
today?
I'm longing.
Hey, Loveless. We are doing well this morning, aren't we? Just extraordinary weather here in New York and Jersey City, and just having a really nice, fine morning. How about you over there?
It is absolutely nice here. Beautiful, a little partly cloudy so far. But 61 degrees here in Santa Fe at 8:08 a.m., 8:09 a.m. And Beth, we've got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah.
Already. I mean, I can't even say what I call it, but an S show is one thing that comes to mind here domestically. We're going to talk a lot about that. We're going to talk a lot about Putin and NATO and North Korea. And we've got a great guest, Allegra Love from the Santa Fe Dreamers Project, coming on today to talk about immigration and what we can do practically to make a difference here in the world. And then we've got what is new here on Call to Reason. Not new entirely, but new is in terms of a regular thing. Our Red Pill reality check. We're going to talk about deconstruction dining today and everything Trump has been up to try and erase Obama from history. Yeah. And then, of course, Beth is going to tell someone who deserves it to shut the hell up, and I'll be right behind her to tell someone else who deserves it to sit your ass down. We'll wrap up with winners and give way to Meet the Press. We've got a great show for them today, Beth, and I am excited.
I'm excited too, Loveless, and we have actually some breaking news this morning. I'm not sure if you've been keeping up with the story about the kids in Thailand who were caught in the caves, the soccer team and their coach, and apparently they've rescued 4 kids in this cave so far. So I just wanted to make sure that people are aware that the kids are getting rescued, it looks like, and it's happening in a more timely manner than they thought it was going to be. So all of that so far is really good news. And so just everybody send these rescue workers, these Thai Navy SEALs, all of your hopes and positive thoughts for a safe rescue for all of, I think it's 12 kids and a coach.
Yeah, it's a very scary proposition. They've got a few down. Beth, turn your volume down. We've got a few kids out, more to be grabbed, and so we really will hope. We'll send them our thoughts and prayers and all the best for a quick extraction of the rest. And the rain is not making it look good, so we're really going to pray hard. Beth, I mean, it just seems like lately there's either one kind of blockbuster coming out of Washington or the other. There's either a new twist in the turn of the Mueller investigation, or some major figure in the Trump administration leaves. So last week we had Justice Kennedy step aside,
right,
in response to the intense pressure that I mean, this is almost like a reverse, almost like a Mike Flynn situation in reverse is starting to emerge with Justice Kennedy. It appears that his son's connections to lending money to the Trump organization may have had, in the scandals that could be emerging from that, may have had something to do with Justice Kennedy stepping aside to appease the president. But we'll have to wait to see what's real and what's not there. What we do know, though, is that this week's departure was EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt finally buckling to the reality that his corruption would not allow him to stay in his role at the Environmental Protection Agency. Now, a lot of folks are speculating, and I'm wondering if the soccer mom, the toddler mom, who confronted him at a Washington restaurant the day before he resigned, had anything to do with his ultimate decision. Did he conclude that this kind of confrontation was simply only going to increase, and so would the number of federal investigations currently underway regarding his time in office in the EPA? Beth, what do you think made him leave, and what do you see next for the EPA now that he's gone?
So at this point, he really had, I mean, there's all kinds of BS media accounts now that Trump and Pruitt are blaming the mainstream news media for all of the negative stories, and that he just couldn't take it anymore. But what was really happening was this. You had both Pruitt employees that he brought with him from Oklahoma, plus you had employees who were Trump appointees who complained that Pruitt had gone so far beyond the pale that they weren't going to do this anymore. There were 14 investigations. These complaints were from Republican whistleblowers from within Pruitt's own office, and so this whole idea that the media made Trump ask for the resignation doesn't hold any water. When you add the fact that Laura Ingraham went on her show and finally told him to throw in the towel, I think that's what happened. The bigger question is why he didn't fire him a long time ago, because as evidence now, they could have easily slid someone in his place that would dismantle all of the environmental protections,
well, the person,
that we've enjoyed.
The person that they have slid in his place actually is more vehement and more determined to fulfill Trump's mission to roll back all protections for human beings and animals and plants on the planet.
Yeah.
It's going to be a mess because, and listen, let's not just always chase the squirrel. Let's keep our eye on what's really going on. Pruitt's replacement is not going to be a breath of fresh air for the environment. It's going to get worse, and that's actually the point. Pruitt should have been gone a long time ago. Of course he should have been gone a long time ago. But who cares? He's gone now, and we need to focus ourselves as citizens on what the ramifications, what the repercussions of their environmental commitments are going to be for the world, in particular America, moving forward. So, Beth, we got to take a short break, and on the other side, and by the way, farewell, Scott Pruitt. Don't let the
door hit you where the good Lord split you.
Yeah, don't let the $43,000 phone booth door.
So we want our money back.
Yes, and that's CITIZENS of America. You can just make the check on out, Scott. In the meantime, we'll send you on out with a little ride music for your way out. Y'all stay tuned to Talk 1260 and 103.7 KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk leader. You're on Call to Reason, and we'll be right back.
what you say. Oh woman, don't treat me so mean. You're the meanest old woman that I've ever seen. I guess if you say so, I'll have to pack my things and go.
Stay tuned for more Call to Reason, Santa Fe's Common Sense Checkpoint, here on KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk Leader.
Hi, this is Dr. Mark Rasmussen from Ultimate Eye Care Santa Fe, reminding you that we really do care about how you look and see.
If your business is damaged by fire, it is critical to contact a company that specializes in the fire and smoke restoration process as soon as possible to prevent additional damage. Paul Davis Restoration and Remodeling of Northern New Mexico is available 24/7 to help minimize the cost of fire and smoke damage to your business. Our specialized training, cleaning methods, and equipment combined with over 40 years of experience means quicker cleanup and lower smoke damage restoration costs. We will assist with the insurance claims process to make it as painless as possible for you. Search Paul Davis Santa Fe today.
Do you or someone you know have the need for professional estate services? Hi, I'm Stephen Etrie of Stevens, a consignment gallery. Personal property appraisals, valuations, on-site estate sales, or individual consignment sales. We're the most trusted and experienced in northern New Mexico. For over 35 years, Stevens has been working with professionals, attorneys, banks, trustees, and individuals. For professional estate services, contact Stevens at 471-1992. Open daily, 10 to 6. StevensConsignments.com.
Hey, it's Joel with Le Bon Voyage, Santa Fe's destination for all things travel. The summer travel season is in full swing, and Le Bon Voyage has everything you need to make your travel smooth. The best lines of luggage, Briggs & Riley, Eagle Creek, Epic, Pendleton, and so much more. RFID wallets, passport holders, and of course all the fun travel trinkets you could ever imagine having. 328 South Guadalupe Street. We always have free parking. Le Bon Voyage, 30 years still locally owned and operated.
Hi, do you need a ride that is more dependable and secure than the local ride-hail services? Hi, I'm Marcos, owner of Santa Fe's newest taxi service, New Mexico Black Car Taxi Service. Some people want a professional driver to handle their logistics, and we drive all black Mercedes vehicles, and the best part is we're offering the black car service at the taxi price. Hey, you need a ride to the airport? Starting at $55 one way. Call us today and find us on the web at taxiinsantafe.com. New Mexico Black Car Service, for those people who want a professional driver service at the price of a taxi. New Mexico Black Car Taxi Service. We are at your service.
You've heard the term left-brained or right-brained? Well, let's get it right. ExpoArtisan.com. The Artisan Material Expo is this September 28th through 30th at Buffalo Thunder Resort. 120 short art workshops by 68 of the best instructors in the world. ExpoArtisan.com. These classes are geared for everyone, 3 to 6 hours. All materials provided and 86 booths of art material manufacturers selling art supplies cheaper than the internet. ExpoArtisan.com, Buffalo Thunder Resort, September 28th through 30th. Now you got it right.
Now back to Call to Reason, your dose of common sense and reality radio, with your host, Loveless Johnson III, on KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk Leader.
Your cheating heart will make you weep. You'll cry and cry and try to sleep, but sleep won't come the whole night through. Your cheating heart will tell on you.
It'll tell on you every time, y'all. That cheating heart sure will. Welcome back to Call of Reason right here at 8:21 a.m. on a beautiful, partly cloudy Sunday morning here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and it's a beautiful sunny Sunday morning in the New York City metro, according to what Beth looks like on Facebook. 67 degrees here in Santa Fe, on our way to a high today of only 76. Yes, folks, the monsoon seasons have come. We've got a higher chance of rain today, and it is going to be stunning. So enjoy it while you can, and get ready to get up into the Santa Fe National Forest. It will be open again soon. Beth, we have with us coming up at the bottom of the hour, Allegra Love, attorney Allegra Love, the head of the Santa Fe Dreamers Project and a freedom fighter for the ages. I mean, Beth, cut from the cloth of the folks we respect the most. I mean, a real justice warrior. Allegra Love is going to be joining us, and we cannot wait to talk immigration and hear exactly what we can do practically to get involved and get off the sidelines and get back to making America America again. We're going to talk to Allegra, and we can't wait. Beth, we've got, the young people use a phrase called ish. They say ish. That's a big thing you see on the internet now. And that stands for something entirely different than what it sounds like. In other words, if Donald Trump were a young person when he were talking about the countries that he was berating in a cabinet meeting, he would have said these ish-hole countries that I don't want to support because they have a bunch of colored people. That is in that context. So America today is one big ish show. Yeah. And we've got so many things, so many squirrels being tossed out on the lawn from the White House of the nation's consciousness every day. And it totally keeps us devolved from the conversations we should be having surrounding the realities of this massive rollback of all progress for this country that's been going on here in America. I mean, our economy, while it looks good on the surface, it looks healthy, there's a lot to brag about, a lot to be happy about today. A lot of that stuff is so full of smoke because all common sense economists, the World Trade Organization, the World Bank, everyone sees that our economy is actually on a highway to financial hell. And in my LeVar Ball voice, I know you're saying, Loveless, what you talking about, man? Listen, stock market is going great. Unemployment is low. But folks, let me tell you something. Don't talk to me anything about unemployment being low, stock market being great. What that means is that rich people are getting richer and poor folks are still catching hell because wages are not going up. We know now that the big tax incentive that Trump claimed and the Congress claimed was going to stimulate jobs and increase pay for workers has been used primarily for stock buyback programs, and corporations are enriching themselves and taking more of their stocks off the playing field, again, to enrich themselves. And the bills that are piling up as a result of the tax cut and the other borrow and binge activities of this Republican Congress has put our nation on a pathway such that this debt and federal deficit that they are ringing up are ensuring the bankruptcy of our great-great-great-great-grandchildren. And it is considered by all common sense experts the actual greatest threat to our national security today. We are on track to have a recession that may even surpass the Great Depression itself, folks, simply because of how large our economy is now. The Great Depression may seem like a recession when it's time to pay the piper on what Donald Trump and this borrow and binge Republican Congress are doing to our economy in reality. No, it's spit shine really nice right now. The lipstick is on that pig perfectly today, folks. But I'm telling you, it's all an illusion. It's not quite real. Yes, it feels real. But I guarantee you next April, when the real reality of the tax cut hits you after this November's election, that'll be the beginning of you. That'll be the beginning of you actually realizing how ripped off you have been again. Right? Are you with me still, Beth?
I'm with you. So listen, they planned the tax cut so that people, the working class would get their tax cut this tax season. But as we talked about on the show at the time, next year those folks are not going to get that tax cut, and then it's going to get worse the year after that. So they planned it for ahead of the midterm election. But what is good is that the American people are seeing through it. The American people do not support this tax plan. The American people, poll after poll shows that it does not have the support of the American people, which is why Trump went all in on separating kids at the border. So that would be the focus on news, so that they could stoke up his racist cultist believers, so he could stoke fear in them, give them some red meat ahead of the midterm elections. That's
exactly what happened.
It.
So, folks, there are so many other things going on in this Trump administration right now that we never hear about because we're so busy chasing the squirrels of scandal and sensationalism and reality show context that we keep getting bombarded with. But people who are really paying attention, people who are woke for real, are understanding that Donald Trump is trying to restore 1950 America. And they're doing so at a breakneck pace with great urgency because they understand that it's quite possible American people will have had enough come November and change the complexion of the Congress such that the next 2 years of his presidency will be null and void. That's what I'm hoping for, because honestly, folks, we can't take much more of this chaos here in the country. We just can't take much more of it. And so, anyway, Beth, we got to take another break. But when we come back, we've got Allegra Love, the Santa Fe Dreamers Project. She'll be with us. So y'all stay tuned right here to Talk 1260 and 103.7 KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk leader. It's 8:30, and we will be right back.
The subliminal mind, America. Welcome to a new kind of tension all across the alien mission. Everything isn't meant to be okay. Television dreams of tomorrow.
Stay tuned for more Call to Reason, Santa Fe's Common Sense Checkpoint, here on KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk leader.
The world is coming to Santa Fe. More than 150 artists from 50 countries gather together July 13th through the 15th for the International Folk Art Market on Museum Hill. Celebrate 15 years of art and impact. Friday, July 13th is the opening night party with shopping and dancing under the stars, and the special early bird market is the morning of Saturday, July 14th. Enjoy world music, international foods, and beautiful artwork from around the world throughout the weekend. Kids love the Passport program. On Sunday, they get their own passport to travel the world and collect stickers from each of the artists. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit folkartmarket.org.
Nothing says summer in Santa Fe like a green chili cheeseburger and an icy cold frozen margarita. This is George Gundry, owner of the Atrisco Cafe and Bar, located in the Vargas Center, inviting you to stop by and sample our truly authentic New Mexican cuisine. People are passionate about our burgers because they are made with the finest local free-range beef, hatch green chili, and served with house-cut French fries made from scratch daily. The Atrisco Cafe and Bar in the Vargas Center. Lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Weekend breakfast Saturdays and Sundays.
The boys of summer are back, Santa Fe, and nothing's better on these warm summer nights than great food, cold beer, and baseball. Santa Fe Fuego brings the fire to historic Fort Marcy Ballpark for their 2018 season.
Bring the kids and run the bases with Pepper, the Fuego mascot. See you at the ballpark.
For a schedule of games or information on how you can get involved, go to SantaFeFuego.com.
Go Fuego!
Galante from Mediterranea in Santa Fe. Virtually every time that a new container shipment has arrived at our showroom over the past 24 years, I've heard visitors to Mediterranea ask, can you imagine what they would say if these antiques could talk? If indeed they could, the beautiful early 17th century walnut and chestnut bench from a village on the Camino de Santiago might explain the exact origin of the coat of arms carved on its back, and the stunning mid-18th century painted dropweight table from the Rioja wine region might reveal the identity of the village artist who lovingly decorated its surface. Mediterranea is located at 222 Galisteo Street, between Alameda and Water Streets in downtown Santa Fe. Our latest container shipments of unique reproduction furnishings, accessories, antiques, and other treasures for your home have just arrived at Mediterranea. If you haven't yet been to our showroom, I'd like to personally invite you to visit us, and I hope to see you soon.
Hi, this is Dr. Josh Rogoff of the Rogoff Dental Group. From general to restorative to cosmetic and complex dentistry, the Rogoff Dental Group understands that everyone's a little different, so we do our homework to make sure you receive the highest quality of care. We talk you through every step of the process so that executing your treatment is the easiest part. It's more than a promise, it's a guiding principle for everything we do. Do you have chronic sensitivity, broken teeth, or fillings and crowns that don't last long enough? At Rogoff Dental Group, we understand the need to comprehensively analyze your situation to provide a proper diagnosis and treatment plan. Solving your dental mystery comes from attention to detail and a team who are truly dedicated to what they do. Clear communication, compassionate care, industry-leading training, and the best materials and laboratories all ensure our patients get long-lasting, predictable, and beautiful results. To check out what makes us love what we do, go to rogoffdentalgroup.com.
Now back to Call to Reason, your dose of common sense and reality radio, with your host, Loveless Johnson III, on KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk Leader.
Cuando lo miro a los ojos, todo el cuerpo me palpita. Quisiera que me besara para probar su boquita. Me muero porque me quiera, por estar entre sus brazos y escuchar que un día me diga, vida mía, te quiero tanto.
Welcome back to Call to Reason, everybody. 8:35 a.m. This beautiful Sunday morning here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Beautiful also in the Jersey City, New York City area where Beth is, and I hope it's beautiful where you are. 67 degrees on our way to 76 here in Santa Fe. And as promised, we've got somebody who I really have a tremendous amount of respect for, and admiration for what they do, and appreciation for the example that they set for us every day. This citizen actually does matter. Want to welcome Santa Fe's own and the Santa Fe Dreamers Project Director, Attorney Allegra Love. Thank you for being here with us, Allegra.
For having me.
How have you been?
Tired.
Yes.
Pretty tired. Not just today, but every day.
Well, that is to be expected from someone who works as hard as you do, fighting for the freedom that you do. Let's just jump right into what's happening here. We've got a mess on our hands on the southern border, and let's just not make any bones about it. We've got a mess down there, and what are we supposed to do? What can we do? What's next? There was a separation policy enacted. Then there was an executive order claiming that that's not happening anymore. Now a judge has ordered that the children be reunited with their parents, but we don't know what's next? And are they being reunited? The Trump administration is already pushing back, saying they can't meet the deadline. What's going to happen next, Allegra? Can you fill us in?
I wish I knew what was going to happen next. One thing I want to point out before we get started on this mess you're referring to on the southern border is this has been going on for a very long time. And I think that finally when the image of children being taken from their parents hit the news, it became like a tipping point for the American public. But this is a mess that's decades building, and so the idea that we can just end it in a moment or in a little wave like that is hard to hard to prescribe. You can't say just like, oh, what do we do? Well, this has been building for decades, so now it's time to start unraveling it, but it's going to take a lot. You're absolutely right. The news is not really exaggerating the mess that's going on the border. The Trump administration says that they're trying to reunite people, but we have a couple staff members down on the border right now. We're working in prisons. The prison I work in is with fathers trying to find their children, and they're not reuniting these kids. It's basically, essentially, from what I understand, is they started this policy with no plan on how they might reunite them. And did they just not think that they would have to?
No, because they never anticipated they were going to try to reunite anyone. This is the Handmaid's Tale on steroids.
Yeah, and so
it was the intended punishment.
match children in one detention center with their parents in another. It's really, I mentioned I work with dads out here in Cibola County. There's a prison that's holding a lot of fathers who've been separated from their children, which is, no one's talking about them. They're talking about moms and kids. But I work in a prison full of dads who said, how do I find my kid? And it's really traumatizing as the attorney to look them in the eye and say, we don't know how we're going to help you find your kid, and we can't guarantee that you're going to see them anytime soon. It is some pretty heavy stuff. In terms of what's happening next, the Trump administration is going to start the practice of family detention. Now, family detention was revived in 2014 under Obama, and I've worked extensively in family detention facilities, and up until last month, I thought it was the worst thing I have ever seen in terms of what could be done to children. Now, we've seen worse as of June when we started seeing parents separated. But what's happened is they've put this order in saying, fine, if you want families together, we'll detain them in prisons. And some people are saying, well, there you go, the families are together. But it is not
That's no
better.
reason to celebrate.
No, and like I said, up until last month, it was the worst thing I have ever seen. Seeing children detained with their families in prison isn't much better than them being alone. And so now there's all this litigation around the Flores settlement agreement because there's all this law since 1997 about how long you can keep a child in federal prison and under what circumstances. And so in the courts right now, they're getting all these injunction orders, and the Trump administration isn't really minding them, and that's where we're at.
This is... I mean, I'm so frustrated with this whole situation because, again, it's such a black eye to the nation. Beth, what do you want to ask Allegra? What's been on your mind here with this?
I think a big thing that has been on my mind and has actually kept me awake thinking about is that once these kids are reunited with their parents. There was one count of a toddler who was returned to his mom after 55 days, and she said that the child was covered in lice and looked like he had not been bathed since she left him there. And so I'm just wondering, in addition to the panic to get these kids back with their parents, I read another account where the kids were undernourished, that they didn't even have blankets. What on earth is going on in these detention centers? And do you have any insider knowledge about how the children are being treated? I'm mortified and disgusted by this.
Yeah, and I do have a little bit of insider information. So what you're tending to see in the media, I think, in terms of these when the kids are, the story about the kid covered in lice, the kid who didn't have a blanket, like that's just, those are the most sensational stories, and they're awful. And I'm in no way defending what the detention of children. The thing is these kids are not actually in cages. And what they're in is they're in camps or homes that are part of the ORR shelter system. And it's not run by the government. It's run by contractors. There's social workers there. And these, and my experience and my understanding is, with the lens that any kind of detention of a kid is completely horrible, it's not, the conditions aren't as bad as we're imagining because of the media account. I've been in these camps. I've had plenty of clients who have been in them. But that's not to say... Can
you tell us what it's like in there? I mean...
Yeah, I've only been to one, and that was first of all, like, these makeshift camps aren't the norm. The problem is we have a shelter system that the Office of Refugee Resettlement sets up, and they have them. There's these homes that are like contractors run. The major one in the Southwest is called Southwest Key. And what happened was when the Trump administration started separating parents from their kids, those shelters reached capacity. So like these makeshift camps, like the one in Tornillo, Texas, are not the norm. And so kids they're in cabins or tents, and there's a lot of adult supervision. This was the one camp that I observed. They were playing soccer, watching movies. This is not to try and mitigate the harm. Being separated from your parents, being detained is super traumatizing, and it has to stop immediately. But I think that we can take a deep breath, because I know that there is a lot of people who are down in those camps caring for the children and making sure that under these horrific circumstances, they're doing the best that they can.
Yeah, we got to remember that this is not Nazi Germany, even though it feels like it in a lot of ways. And it's not a concentration camp, and the guards aren't abusing the prisoners as such. There are people actually probably working in that system who completely disagree with the policy and are disgusted by President Trump, and probably working extra hard to show compassion and humaneness to these kids. I'll bet you that's a major part of it too. Why? Because Americans are involved. And when I say that, I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about the people who are going to make America America again. That's the kind of folks I'm talking about. And you got to know that some of those kinds of people are in that system. And that's what's keeping America from going straight to hell immediately over this. We got to take another short break. But when we come back, we're going to continue on with Allegra Love and talk more immigration. And she's going to tell us what we can do practically to get involved and support doing the right thing in this country as it regards immigration. Y'all stay tuned right here to Talk 1260 and 103.7 KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk Leader. You're on Call to Reason, and we will be right back.
All the bridges that you burn come back one day to haunt you. One day you find you walking long line. Oh baby, I never meant to hurt you.
Stay tuned for more Call to Reason, Santa Fe's Common Sense Checkpoint, here on KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk Leader.
Are you looking for a diamond for that special someone? Don't pay exorbitant big box jeweler prices or take a chance online. Here at Premier Precious Metals, we now offer wholesale diamond pricing for the most important stone you'll ever buy. Or maybe you're ready to sell a diamond, old jewelry, watches, or anything gold or silver. We do that too. For Santa Fe's friendliest, most informative, and highest paying precious metals and diamond professionals, stop at the Coins Donut sign at 855 Cerrillos Road. Premier Precious Metals, Santa Fe's coin store, and more.
Hi, this is David Griego from Santa Fe Goldworks. Join us Friday, July 13th when we sponsor Santa Fe Bandstand's Music on the Plaza with Chris Abeta's Lumbre del Sol. Santa Fe Goldworks will be giving away a 1-carat Zia diamond pendant, local restaurant gift cards, and other prizes. Look for our booth on the plaza. Registration begins at 3 p.m., followed by music at 6 on the 13th. Who's your trusted jeweler since 1972? Me, David Griego at Santa Fe Goldworks.
This is Matt.
And Hillary.
From Brian McPartland Roofing.
As third-generation leaders in the roofing industry, we strive to continue our family legacy, offering superior customer satisfaction that my father instilled in our company.
We offer high-quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. My Uncle Brian McPartland built our company as an innovator and trusted family-owned business for over 30 years. We are proud to be founding members of National Women in Roofing New Mexico.
And proud to have the first women roofing crew, leading important community projects at Girls Inc. and the Solace Crisis Treatment Center. Whether it's residential or commercial, historic renovation or new construction, architectural details, metal siding, or rooftop gardens.
From Silver City to Taos Ski Valley.
From Pie Town to Tucumcari.
Find us online and like us on Facebook.
Brian McPartland Roofing. We've got you covered.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
The Food Depot is the food bank that feeds hungry people in need in northern New Mexico. They accept donations Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 at their office at 1222 Siler Road. Volunteers and financial donations are also welcome. To find out more about how you can help by donating time, money, or food, go to thefooddepot.org.
SantaFe.com event calendar, the premier online resource for something fun to do in Santa Fe.
Now back to Call to Reason, your dose of common sense and reality radio, with your host, Loveless Johnson III, on KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk leader.
Welcome back to Call to Reason with Loveless and Beth, everyone. We've got Allegra Love here with us this morning as well. Allegra, welcome back here with us to Call to Reason.
Hello.
We were talking immigration, and Allegra Beth was about to give us some practical ways we can get involved and support these kids. Can you tell us, Allegra, what's happening and what we can be doing?
So in terms of the kids, I think for my, what I would do is definitely identify the organizations, whether they're advocacy organizations, legal organizations, places that do litigation, that are having the most impact right now in terms of actually getting material aid to these kids and who are working in the effort to reunite them. And I think it's really important to be really discerning about where you donate your money. I know that like in this area in the Southwest, some of the places I would think about is Annunciation House in El Paso, Las Americas in El Paso, the Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid. I know it's doing a huge effort in Texas to reunite these families. I think a lot of people heard about Raices. That's the organization that raised like $1 billion. It was wow. It was a really incredible thing to see. But making sure that you are giving money to the folks that actually have access to these kids and their families and can actually move things. There's a little bit like it's hard to get access. My organization doesn't right now have access to any of the shelters.
They're not even letting our elected officials in those facilities.
I know, but one of the things, and this is kind of hard to understand for me, but like from my sort of like legal perspective, these are other people's children, right? And as terrible as it is that they're detained in this custody, like they can't give access to everyone, and apparently not even elected officials, because they're, other people's children. So find out the people who do have access and getting them, it would be my first point.
I guess maybe you can clear this up because there have been reports where elected officials have been told that they can tour these facilities only to be turned away. So why?
I don't know exactly like the circumstances of that. A lot of times in these facilities, they'll give them like press tours, but they don't have like any authentic access. And the problem with detaining children is there's this really, really solid excuse you can make to deny access, which is these are really, really vulnerable people. And that's sort of what you run into when like there's the safety of the kid can be the point where they give up all this denial. And so finding out which organizations have actual contracts to have access and figuring out who's actually doing the work will take a little work, but yeah, so that's my first point. My second point is stop thinking, for the love of God, that casting a vote for a Democrat in the midterms is activism on this issue. This happened. This is not new. Family separation has been going on for a very long time. It was happening under Clinton, Bush. It got real bad under Obama. And so having this assumption that this is just a Republican thing, that Democrats are not monstrous enough to separate children from their kids, they absolutely are. And so I'm not saying don't vote Democrat. I'm saying before you cast your vote, talk to the leaders and talk to your senators and whoever you're voting for, and tell them that unless they show real moral leadership on this issue, you're not going to be casting a vote for them. They need to actually step up and be leaders. And one of the more interesting points about this is ICE detention is a huge contractor. ICE is with these correctional corporations, CoreCivic, GeoGroup, these private corporations that are making an immense amount of money through the detention of immigrants, especially immigrant children. That's CoreCivic. Immigrant children, their stocks went like through the roof when they started detaining immigrant children. And so finding out which of your elected leaders are taking handouts from these corporations and letting them know that henceforth that is completely unacceptable. All of our Democrats, I think except one leading Democrat, I mean not all, but Heinrich, Ben Ray Lujan, they took handouts from CoreCivic this year. Hector Balderas took Now they've come out and said, we're going to give the money back. and they donated it to ISIS, and they said we're no longer going to be doing that. That's something we have to demand from all of our elected officials.
Yeah.
That's right, y'all. Listen, we got to take news break time, but when we come back, we're going to keep Allegra with us and talk a few more issues. We've got foreign policy to talk about as well as our red pill reality check. Beth is going to indeed tell somebody who deserves it to shut the hell up, and I'll be right behind her to tell somebody else who deserves it to sit your ass down. Y'all stay tuned. We've got more great show coming up, and we hope you'll be right here with us when we get back on the other side of this break. If you want to hear your voice on the radio and be a part of the conversation, give us a call at 424-1260. 505-424-1260 for those watching online and listening in other parts of the world. 505-424-1260. Get your voice in the conversation right here on Call to Reason. Beth and I will be back on the other side of the news, and y'all stay tuned to Call to Reason.
Just a slob like one of us, just a stranger on the bus, trying to make his way home. If God had a face, what would it look like, and would you want to see? If seeing meant that you would have to believe in things like heaven and in Jesus and the saints and all the prophets.
You're listening to Talk 1260 KTRC AM at 1037 K279 CX FM Santa Fe and streaming live at santafe.com.
Fort Cave Rescue. 4 of the 12 boys trapped in a cave in northern Thailand since June 23rd were rescued today. They are all being treated at a hospital at this hour. Correspondent David McKenzie says the decision to begin the rescue was made because of dropping oxygen levels and the threat of monsoon rains.
The rain is a major concern. In the coming days, the leadership here says there could be 3 or 4 days of solid rain that could flood the chamber they're in, the boys are in, to just a small space of safety. So there might be a window that is closing here in this desperate rescue attempt.
A Thai official says the healthiest boys were taken out first. That official says the operation is going better than expected, but it could be days before all of the boys and their 25-year-old coach are taken out of the 6-mile-long system. The rescue operation has now been suspended. I'm Christopher Cruz. At least 64 people are dead after extremely heavy rains in Japan. Over the past few days, 44 people are missing. Flooded rivers have forced 4 million people to flee. Tropical storm Chris has formed early this morning. It's now swirling off the coast of North Carolina. Forecasters say it will become a hurricane tomorrow. Americans in parts of Haiti are being told to stay indoors as violent demonstrations over a sharp increase in fuel prices continue on the island nation. About 100 Americans are among those trapped in the Best Western Hotel in the capital, Port-au-Prince. Stacy Bourne is a hotel guest.
The situation right now is calm. We've worked on a security plan to fortify the perimeter and evacuate if needed, if the situation becomes worse again.
A forest fire that shut down a stretch of a state highway in California's San Bernardino Mountains is growing. The Valley Fire has already burned 1,000 acres. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Today, business happens here, and virtually anywhere. Because today, innovative companies are reinventing the way business happens, and they need people who can keep up. With the expertise and technology to get packages to over 150 million delivery points. So, who can help you deliver the future of commerce? The United States Postal Service. See why we deliver more e-commerce packages to homes than anyone at USPS.com/future.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please call this toll-free number right now, 800-390-9528. That's 800-390-9528. By calling your addiction team, you're taking the first steps to recovery. The help you need could be one call away. 800-390-9528. Make the free call now. 800-390-9528. Your addiction team is a third-party advertiser for various treatment centers and placement networks. Individual results will vary. Visit youraddictionteam.com/terms for more information.
Tickets for the World Cup are available on the secondary market, and as you can imagine, prices are steep.
The 2018 FIFA World Cup has reached the semifinals, with France facing Belgium and Croatia going up against England. The winners of those two matches will meet on July 15th for the World Cup final match. Tickets for the final sold out quickly on FIFA's website, with the cheapest going for just under $112. Some online ticket resellers are now offering tickets for the game for more than $3,000 apiece. FIFA does allow fans who have bought tickets to resell or transfer them, but they say it has to be done through their official ticketing platform. I'm Alex Hinton.
England's 2-0 defeat of Sweden yesterday marks the first time the team has reached the World Cup semifinals since 1990. Top story of the hour, 4 of the 12 boys trapped in a cave in northern Thailand for 15 days were rescued today. They're all being treated at a hospital. I'm Christopher Cruz.
This is John Greenhut, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, Power Swabs is the answer. In 5 minutes, you'll see 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. Even better, there's no messy strips or trays that you'll have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes, and you're done. To try Power Swabs, call 1-800-679-0969. Your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free. 1-800-679-0969. That's 1-800-679-0969.
I don't know how else to say this, so I'll just say it.
What is it, Linda?
I think we should see other people.
Are you breaking up with me? On a roller coaster?
Well, we do have a lot of fun. Maybe we should stay together.
An emotional roller coaster? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I just need a little me time.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
What's better than On Your Feet, the very comfortable shoe store? A pair of On Your Feet shoe stores. That's right, we have opened a second On Your Feet at DeVargas Center, right next to Starbucks. I'm Amanda, and I'm the manager for the new location. We have a great selection of comfortable, fashionable footwear, along with an enormous selection of socks and great handbags for every woman. More very comfortable shoes at the new On Your Feet #2, now at DeVargas Center.
Would you like to further your career in IT? Do you wish you were part of a progressive growing business? Imagine company breakfast, bonus pay, pizza Fridays, team environment, working the latest modern business office space, assigned company vehicle, phone, and laptop, and not to forget health insurance and 401k benefits. Krumbacher, New Mexico's premier business-to-business IT services provider, is currently hiring full-time level 1 and level 2 IT technicians. Must have a minimum of 1 year experience in IT. Go to krubz.com/careers to apply. Krumbacher, the latest in business technology.
Your Sunday morning dose of reality is now. Open your mind to Santa Fe's non-GMO, purely organic source of common sense. This is Call to Reason with your host, Loveless Johnson III, here on KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk leader.
And everything is going wrong, oh no. Nobody knows the way you feel about it, 'cause only you know. You can't leave it alone. Oh, here we go again. Oh, here we go again. I thought what we had was over. Here we go again. Ooh, oh, here we go again.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Call a Reason right here with Loveless and with Beth. Beth, we are having fun here with Allegra Love as well from the Santa Fe Dreamers Project, telling us what we can do. Support immigrants and the refugees, people who are really fleeing danger and life and death situations to live a better life and protect their children here in America. But for some reason, they're a part of our population that thinks that's a bad idea and that we shouldn't be compassionate to people at all. And the most unfortunate part of that is that most of those folks call themselves Christians.
Yeah.
When they really are just cult members in the Jesus Industrial Complex. Shame on y'all. You know who you are. It's 9:08 a.m. here in the studios of Talk 1260 and 103.7 KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk Leader. We want to remind everybody, if you want to reach us, if you want to be on the show, if you have a nonprofit organization you'd like to have highlighted, just shoot me an email, Loveless, L-O-V-E-L-E-S-S, Loveless at santafe.com, and you can get me and Beth, and we will be more than happy to get the word out about your great calls. And if you want to discuss issues with us right now, feel free. 505-424-1260 right here, and we'll bring you on and hear what you have to say. We'd love to hear your contribution to the conversation. We also have a wonderful social media presence. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just look for Call to Reason. And on Twitter especially, Loveless in Beth. Loveless, the letter N, Beth. You can find us, engage, share, join Team Red Pill, be a part of the conversation. Beth, what were you going to say?
I just wanted to reiterate a point that I made off air, on air, about being a responsible consumer of journalism with regard to this issue, and to express my frustration once again with the mainstream news media and cable news media, who just like to talk to each other on these panels. At any given show you watch, they've got a bunch of panelists who are journalists from other networks, and they are not interviewing people like Allegra Love, who actually have the expertise to discuss this issue and bring what's really happening to the public. Allegra, I wanted you to maybe repeat your experience that you had before, and maybe speak to that, and maybe help us make a plea to the so-called mainstream journalists who are ignoring a lot of the issues you've brought to the table today.
Yeah, I just, I was saying when we were off air that my, being, very involved with this and having a level of expertise in this issue, I'm totally horrified by how the media is covering it, and it's making me realize in a much broader scope. I mean, I consume mainstream media as well in terms of trying to learn about the world, and I'm realizing, okay, if they're getting this thing wrong, not necessarily wrong, but not totally getting the expert opinion, then what must I be learning wrong in everything else? And I was saying how I was recently the subject of a journalist discussion on Fox News. I had been in Mexico helping migrants in the caravan, and I was actually helping migrants say, don't go to the U.S. It's really bad. They're going to separate you from your families. In many ways, like a weapon of the Trump administration, just trying to tell them the reality of what they were going to find at the border. Yet these Fox News journalists were speculating that I was in there teaching them how to sneak into the country, and I ended up getting death threats from a lot of Fox News viewers because of that. And
you see, it's
got
real
it
out
all
here.
wrong.
It's real out here in the field, people. And propaganda is one of the most powerful weapons used by the dark side. And here, Allegra is actually doing what most conservatives would probably applaud her for. Yet all of her service has been mischaracterized by these propagandists simply trying to make a buck on ratings and red herring, red flag outrage, false flag outrage. It's so ridiculous, the level of propaganda that the country is falling for. And of course, it doesn't help at all that the source of it, Donald Trump and all his minions, as driven and guided by Roger Stone. Folks, this is not a game. And conscious people who really understand that need to stop not doing anything. Need to
And
stop
Loveless, I
being
just want to
still.
go on record that we're not just complaining about Fox News here. It's every cable news station that does this.
That's right.
They don't bring on the experts. They don't have people like Allegra Love coming to their studios or being piped into their studios, telling people what these places are really like and the difference between what's happened in previous administrations and this one, and the new tinted camps versus the ones that have been existing for a while. And these issues are so important. They deserve those explanations of nuance.
Yes, they do. Now, we want to, Beth, I want to first of all go over a little foreign policy before we take our next commercial break.
Okay.
We know that President Trump is going to be meeting with Vladimir Putin on July 16th. We know that North Korea has collapsed. They are basically, they sent Mike Pompeo home with his tail between his legs after 2 days of talks. And of course, they are moved in the complete opposite direction of the Trump stated goal of complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Everyone who had any common sense at all already knew that given the results of the other countries who denuclearized at the behest of the world amidst a bunch of huge promises for reward for doing so have all regretted it. They've all regretted it, and they gave away their power. You had to know North Korea is not going to do that after they spent so much time and effort gaining that power. Donald Trump's bombast was not going to be the panacea for getting Kim to give it up. And you cult members who were here claiming that the master deal maker was about to cut a deal, he not only got himself played, folk, in reality what he did was got America played. You see, this isn't a reality show about Donald Trump. This is our lives. Our lives depend on what the President of the United States does, and it's not just him that has egg on his face. It's not a reality show, folks. We got played. American people. America got played, thanks to Donald Trump. And now he's about to go to Finland for a private meeting with Vladimir Putin with no other Americans present. And so the question, Beth, is what exactly do we expect? What does Donald Trump expect to get? What should America expect Donald Trump can get from Vladimir Putin? Well, I, for one, know for a fact the one thing he's going to get for certain is more instructions for the rest of 2018 and 2019 about what to do. He's going to get detailed instructions from Vladimir Putin. That's one thing I know he'll get out of the meeting, is those detailed instructions on what to do next, because he's obviously under the control of the Kremlin folk, and we do indeed have a traitor for president. You can be mad at me, you can call 424-1260 and cuss me out, but you got to be ready to prove me wrong when you do. All right?
Look, Loveless, this whole, let's not. One thing that we haven't discussed yet about foreign policy is the 5 U.S. senators and the 1 representative, or maybe I'm getting that
1
mixed
representative,
wrong,
6 senators, yes,
who spent their 4th of July holiday
kissing
in
Putin's
Russia,
behind.
kissing Putin's behind. They even said, oh, we might get to meet Putin ahead of the trip, and of course he stood them up to make them look like chumps, and they look like chumps. And they've already said that they might start recognizing that first that we might need to lift the sanctions off of them because of Crimea, and that maybe we should start thinking about looking at Crimea as part of Russia now. The other thing that we're, you know what we are going to probably get out of the deal is probably help from Russia in the midterm elections. But I don't understand anyone who thinks it's a good idea for President Trump, under all of the scrutiny, with his campaign under this heavy investigation, why he would risk going to talk to Vladimir Putin one-on-one with the microscope of Mueller and the United States of America
because
on
he's a
him.
cult leader who doesn't give a damn. That's simply the short and simple of it. We got to take another break. When we come back, we're going to all take a moment and reflect on who needs to shut the hell up. And I want to say thank you again to Allegra Love for being here. Allegra, before you go, can you tell everyone how they can get a hold of the Santa Fe Dreamers Project and how they can support what you're doing?
Oh, sure. It's super easy. We have a website, www.santafedreamers.org. I will say, if you're in Santa Fe, we're having a big old concert fundraiser in the rail yard on July 22nd with Brian Cardgroove. I don't know. It's all over the internet, but mark the date. Check out our website for information, but come together that day and we're going to be raising money to help deal with this issue.
July 27th here in Santa Fe.
22.
July 22nd in Santa Fe in the rail yard. Make sure you get down there and support Allegra Love and the Santa Fe Dreamers Project. Allegra, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for
Thank you,
on
Allegra.
Call the Reason.
It's a pleasure.
Yes.
So everyone, you all stay tuned. Beth is going to tell somebody when she gets back to shut the hell up. And I'll be right behind her telling somebody else to sit your ass down. You're on Call the Reason right here with Loveless and Beth. Talk 1260 1037 KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk leader, and we will be right back.
Love and happiness. Wait a minute, something going wrong. Someone's on the phone, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, talking about how she can make it right. Yeah, happiness is when you really feel good. Somebody, there's nothing wrong being in love with someone, yeah. Oh, baby, love and happiness.
Stay tuned for more Call to Reason, Santa Fe's Common Sense Checkpoint, here on KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk leader.
Quench your skin's thirst. Rhonda Allison's Skin Quench Duo combines the water-binding essence of hyaluronic serum with the power of heavy water and cucumber for that drink of water our skin needs in the Southwest. Improve elasticity, plump tissue, and increase moisture retention. Call 7th Ray Skincare for your appointment now, 982-9865. Skin like yours deserves solutions like ours. 7th Ray Skincare, specializing in beautiful, healthy skin for over 30 years.
This is Kate Nelson of New Mexico Magazine, the award-winning monthly that's filled with what you need to know about our amazing culture, history, people, and things to do. Ready for a road trip? We've got the lowdown on visiting Abiquiu, Clayton, and Dulce, rafting the Rio Grande, and slurping the state's best ice cream. Pick up a copy, follow us on Facebook, check out nmmagazine.com, and to reach nearly 300,000 readers who love New Mexico, it's the only place to advertise.
Taking my family on vacation can be a challenge. I use Westwind Travel so I don't break the bank. They have access to the very best airfares worldwide. That's the Westwind advantage. Westwind Travel helped me find the most convenient schedule so my family can travel with ease. And if the airfare decreases, Westwind Travel can obtain a refund or a travel credit so I don't lose money. Embark on flights of fantasy with Westwind Travel. Call 505-984-0022 to plan your family vacation today.
Summer is here, and it's time to heat things up with our infused roasted garlic olive oil. Do you need a new grilling marinade? Try our New Mexico chili oil with our Italian herb balsamic. What about a refreshing cocktail? Our cranberry pear is perfect for a hot summer day. Just mix 1 tablespoon cranberry pear balsamic with white wine and lots of ice, and you're set to have a great drink. Visit us downtown in Santa Fe or Taos, and our friendly staff will walk you through a free tasting any day of the week. For more recipes, visit our Facebook page or Instagram, and you can find us online at santafeoliveoil.com.
Hi, this is Pat Aranda from Aranda's Plumbing, Heating, and Supply. My family has been serving Santa Fe since 1947. For over 70 years, we have been specializing in sales, service, design, and installation for all of your plumbing and heating needs.
Hi, this is Trisha Desjardins, the General Manager. The heat is officially here, and it's important to make sure your cooling system is operating efficiently. Maintenance is an essential component of caring for any system in the home. They're mechanical systems. Just like your vehicle, they need regular attention to keep running properly. If your system is beyond repair and needs replacement, let us determine the best installation to meet your comfort level. Call us today at 983-7391 to set up an appointment, or find us at arandaplumbingonline.com. Don't forget, if you are a do-it-yourselfer, we have over 20,000 parts in stock and a team with decades of experience to help you complete your home project.
Back to Call to Reason, your dose of common sense and reality radio, with your host, Loveless Johnson III, on KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk Leader.
Welcome back to Call to Reason, right here, 9:25 a.m. on a beautiful Sunday morning. 71 degrees on our way to a high of 77 today. Expected thunderstorms, 40% chance. Going to be a nice monsoon day here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and it looks really beautiful where Beth is in New York City as well.
It's 76 degrees, sunny, with a high of 81 today in Jersey City.
Nice.
And I'm sure it'll be very similar across the Hudson in New York City, too.
Yep. So, Beth, it's 9:25, and it's that time. We've all been waiting. I'd like to know from you, and so with the rest of the world, who is going to shut the hell up today?
The person who is shutting the hell up today is Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio. And I'm sure that most our listeners are pretty up with what's going on in the world. But for those who may not know, Representative Jim Jordan is the very one who grilled in a most disrespectful way Rod Rosenstein. I guess this was just last week. Just in a disrespectful, horrible, berating kind of way. And it should come as no shock to us that Jim Jordan would treat someone in law enforcement that way, because apparently he thinks that criminals should just get away with doing whatever it is that they want to do, including sexual abuse at his own college with his own wrestling athletes that he was coaching. We now have 7 witnesses who have come forward who said that Jim Jordan knew about the abuse. or I guess some people are calling it sexually inappropriate behavior, but let's just call it what it is, abuse, even sexual assault. I would categorize it. If somebody is touching you in a sexual manner without your consent, that's sexual assault. And that's what this doctor did for what seems to be years, since the 80s. And Jim Jordan, it was a joke in their locker room. He knew about it, according to at least 7 people. I assume that there will be more people who come forward. I want to bring up a conversation that we were just having earlier about the fact that this is being discussed on media panel discussions without one expert in advocating or counseling survivors of sexual assault. And where are the experts? Meanwhile, apparently one of the witnesses has a criminal record, and they're using that criminal record to drag his testimony through the ground. This is wrong. You know, with women, with the gymnasts, believe the women, believe the victims, believe. But now he has these athletes, and it was very hard for them to come forward. Very hard. And I don't want to say that it's harder for men to come forward
Santa Fe's news talk leader, KTRC. If you want to give me your opinion before we take off today, 505-424-1260. If you want to send me your opinion later, or you got an issue, a nonprofit you want to support, email me, loveless@santafe.com. You're with Loveless and Beth. You're on Call to Reason, and we'll be right back.
Santa Fe's Common Sense Checkpoint, here on KTRC, Santa Fe's news talk leader.
Don't miss the 13th annual New Mexico Jazz Festival, July 11 through 30, with events in Santa Fe, Albuquerque, and Taos, a collaborative project of the Lensic, an outpost performance space. See legendary artists Dave Grusin, Didi Bridgewater, Chucho Valdez and Gonzalo Rubalcaba, Eric Bibb, Spanish Harlem Quartet Ranky Tanky, Irma Thomas, and many more. Visit NewMexicoJazzFestival.org for a complete schedule and ticket information.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Capital Computer and Network Solutions. Our staff will creatively tackle any computer or gadget need you or your business may have. We have a talented and knowledgeable team that excels at communicating with clients. We can help you in our shop or at your location, either in person or remotely. We have a great location, easy parking, and wonderful people. So Google us or just stop in and say hi. Capital Computer and Network Solutions, 518 Old Santa Fe Trail, across the street from Connie's Market near Paseo de Peralta.
Spanish tapas and wines in downtown Santa Fe. La Boca brings friends together to share plates of unique and delicious modern Spanish cuisine by Chef James Campbell Caruso. La Boca offers an exceptional blend of locally grown foods along with the finest Spanish imports. For 10 years, locals and travelers have gathered at La Boca for tapas, wine, lunch, and dinner. Now with expanded dining rooms, outdoor patio, and a live music tavern.
Visit online at labocasantafe.com.
Do you ever wonder how other businesses rank higher than your business in search engines? Why is your business on page 3 when you search for your business category when other businesses are on page 1? The answer is search engine optimization, or SEO, and your business can move up in the ranks with TractionWorks SEO. TractionWorks SEO focuses on your website to improve visibility across the web for your search terms. Go to TractionWorksSEO.com to find out more about improving your visibility on the web. TractionWorks SEO, gaining traction one click at a time. Go to TractionWorksSEO.com for a free analysis of your website.
Hi, this is Dr. Josh Rogoff of the Rogoff Dental Group.
And this is Leslie LeKind.
Dr. Martin Luther King made the connection between racism and our class system and planned the Poor People's March in 1968. Now there is a revitalized Poor People's Campaign led by the Reverend William Barber.
The campaign is mobilizing voters on issues like education, economic and environmental justice, immigrant and labor rights, healthcare and militarism through demonstrations and civil disobedience in over 40 states, culminating in a massive protest in Washington, D.C. on June 23rd.
Nonviolent direct action has played a major role in addressing issues like women's suffrage and civil rights. Barber says it's time for nonviolent moral confrontation to force these issues into the national conversation. And this is just the beginning. Hundreds have been to weekly demonstrations at our roundhouse and will continue till the 23rd.
There's more information on Facebook or contact New Mexico at poorpeoplescampaign.org.
Hi, I'm Mark Galante from Mediterranea in Santa Fe. Virtually every time that a new container shipment has arrived at our showroom over the past 24 years, I've heard visitors to Mediterranea ask, can you imagine what they would say if these antiques could talk? If indeed they could, the beautiful early 17th century walnut and chestnut bench from a village on the Camino de Santiago might explain the exact origin of the coat of arms carved on its back. And the stunning mid-18th century painted drop leaf table from the Rioja wine region might reveal the identity of the village artist who lovingly decorated its surface. Mediterranean is located at 222 Galisteo Street, between Alameda and Water Streets in downtown Santa Fe. Our latest container shipments of unique reproduction furnishings, accessories, antiques, and other treasures for your home have just arrived at Mediterranean. If you haven't yet been to our showroom, I'd like to personally invite you to visit us, and I hope to see you soon.
Now back to Call to Reason, your dose of common sense and reality radio, with your host, Loveless Johnson III, on KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk leader.
Buffalo soldier, dread like a Rasta. It was a buffalo soldier in the heart of America, stolen from Africa, brought to America, fighting an arrival, fighting for survival. I mean it when I analyze the stench. To me it makes a lot of sense. How the dreadlock Rasta was a buffalo soldier, and he was taken from Africa, brought to America, fighting an arrival, fighting for survival. Said he was a buffalo soldier.
Welcome back to Call to Reason, everyone. You're right here with Loveless and Beth. And as promised, it's time for us to tell somebody who deserves it to, Beth, turn your volume down, to sit your ass down. And folks, let me just say that it seems like every week I could stay with one top subject or the other. Of course, you know, the Jesus industrial complex is always an easy target. But this week, Donald Trump, my other easy target, is also just easy. Let me let you hear what he had to say about the media and their veracity. And Beth and I are part of the media, so I took this personally. Here's what Donald Trump had to say about the media, ladies and gentlemen.
I see the way they write. They're so damn dishonest. And I don't mean all of them, because some of the finest people I know are journalists. Really, hard to believe when I say that. I hate to say it, but I have to say. But 75% of those people are downright dishonest. Downright dishonest. They're fake. They're fake.
Okay, folks, that from a man who has had PolitiFact and the Wall Street Journal and other major fact-checking operations point out that he has told over 4,000 lies since taking office. Over 4,000 lies since taking office. Now, I know that some of you have become anesthetized to that kind of egregious, dishonest behavior. But what I also know, especially for you women, especially for all you women out there that still seem to think that Donald Trump is a bold, strong, Adonis, Apollonic leader, Apollonic leader, that he's the golden knight in shining armor. In my LeVar Ball voice, LeVar Ball voice again, I say, man, don't talk to me about no Donald Trump being a hero. Donald Trump is a bald-faced liar, ladies and gentlemen. It's been proven over and over again every single day that we open our eyes to greet a new morning. we can be rest assured that as the sun is rising, it certainly will set, and that Donald Trump will be telling several lies that day. That's as predictable as the sunrise and setting itself. So for him, again, folk, propaganda. He just said last night that public opinion has turned dramatically and hugely against Robert Mueller. Could not be further from the truth. 32% of the people don't like the investigation. Everybody else is for it. That's almost 70% for, 30 against. Just rhetoric, dishonest rhetoric. And for him to call the media, to characterize the media as 75% dishonest when he is more like 95% dishonest is not only disingenuous, it's laughable. And for that, I say, Donald Trump, sit your ass down. Sit your lying ass down. Only the cult members are still buying the propaganda. Everyone else sees straight through it. Sit your ass down. And for all of you who continue to support this traitor, you need to sit your ass down too. Because none of us are buying this crap anymore. We're getting up, we're getting out, and we're doing something. And I want to remind everybody as well, when it comes to citizen action, we keep seeing, now it seems like every day we can rely on Donald Trump telling a lie, but we also can rely on some white person thinking it's cool to abuse public resources, put in jeopardy public safety, and waste police officer time and the time of their victim as they call the cops on a black person or person of color for just living an ordinary life. Luckily, we do have the internet. We do have viral videos. These people are being found out. They're being named, and their lives are being disrupted in ways punitively fair based on the disruption they caused to someone else. But that's not enough, folk. Just getting them fired and having one sensational story here and there catch on is not enough. Now we need mass action across the country. And I'm inviting each and every one of you listening today, whether you're on the radio listening, you're on SantaFe.com listening, whether you're watching on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, I'm appealing to you to go to your city council and county commission meetings, wherever you are, and demand punitive financial punishment for those who abuse the system, for those who game the system in order to promote their white supremacist and racist agenda, to simply remove people of color from their vicinity. They abuse police power. They waste taxpayer dollars. We are asking for financial punitive punishment that starts at the minimum cost for the police call they made. That should be the minimum fine. We're asking everyone to join us and demand that your city council and county commission immediately enact laws that provide for stiff and immediate, swift, decisive fiscal punitive punishment for these racists. Taxpayers do not deserve to pay for other folks' racism, and they need to pay for it themselves. So I will be at my city council meeting again. If you're in Santa Fe, New Mexico, please join me this Wednesday at 7 p.m. The meeting starts, city council. We all want to assemble around 6:30. I'll be there about 6:15. Meet me at Santa Fe City Hall this Wednesday and let your voice be heard to demand punitive punishment. I've done it already. Received a little bit of mixed reviews, I guess. I could looking in their eyes, I wasn't really sure where the city council was headed on this. But I'm going to keep going back, and I'm inviting the crowd to grow. Let's get a crowd. Let's get to Santa Fe City Hall. Let's demand justice. Beth will be doing it in Jersey City this Wednesday at her city council as well. We're asking all of you to join us in this effort. Beth, we got to take one more short break, and when we come back, we are going to hit our winners and winners and give way to Meet the Press. Y'all stay tuned right here on Talk 1260 and 103.7 KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk leader. You're on Call to Reason, and we'll be right back.
What's up, man? Hey, man, I was at this place. Man, what was you doing, man? What's up with that? Man, I was doing the ooh. Hey, yo, man, Oz, what's up, Oz? I got the Cosmo. Hey, man, go ahead, take it to the Cosmo. I said, I got the Cosmo. Going down 106 Fish Street, passing that ball. Oh, man, our hips. Oh, man, don't do it to me. Oh, the fast walking, the fast walk. Man, she looks like Betty Boop. Betty Boop. I boo boo for you. Boo boo for you. A Betty Boop and an alley was jumping up and down. Said Betty Boop to alley-oop. Don't hit me in my. Oh, man. Where's the baby?
Stay tuned for more Call to Reason, Santa Fe's Common Sense Checkpoint, here on KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk leader.
Just imagine flash-fried oysters with a Cajun remoulade, Texas Twinkies, and a tall glass of Bosque Amber Ale. joesdining.com.
The world is coming to Santa Fe. More than 150 artists from 50 countries gather together July 13th through the 15th for the International Folk Art Market on Museum Hill. Celebrate 15 years of art and impact. Friday, July 13th is the opening night party with shopping and dancing under the stars, and the special early bird market is the morning of Saturday, July 14th. Enjoy world music, international foods, and beautiful artwork from around the world throughout the weekend. Kids love the Passport program. On Sunday, they get their own passport to travel the world and collect stickers from each of the artists. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit folkartmarket.org.
Hi, this is Sandy Bryce with the Santa Fe Rail Yard, where you can bring your family or meet your friends for fantastic free movies in the park and concerts at the Water Tower all summer long. Enjoy our farmers market, movies at Violet Crown, shop, see some art, have a meal, bike, or take the train. But be sure to join us for all the fun at the Rail Yard this summer. Don't miss this month's featured event, Santa Fe Reporter's Best of Santa Fe Party on Friday, July 27th, with a special tribute to Tom Petty. For details on events, parking, and more, go to railyardsantafe.com.
Wet waiting the Rio, casting bass poppers in the early morning, chasing carp midday, heading north for a trout fix, and still praying for moisture. Hey, this is Jarrett with High Desert Angler. Our conditions warrant a change of pace this summer, but you know there's still fun to be had, and thinking outside of the box helps get that fishing fix. High Desert Angler has all the right stuff for fly fishing anywhere, and for catching all kinds of fish. Come on by, we're 60 Cerritos Road, for the always friendly expert advice. Check out the website or call 98-TROUT.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man!
No, sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them. Like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C, look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have
Ta-da! Twinsies!
I kinda love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org/NM. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Domestic violence is everyone's business. Esperanza Shelter for Battered Families provides a 24-hour hotline for victims of abuse. You can help by giving money, time, services, or resources. Your help helps end the cycle of violence in our community. For more information, go to esperanzashelter.org.
Now back to Call to Reason, your dose of common sense and reality radio, with your host, Loveless Johnson III, on KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk leader.
Welcome back to Call to Reason, everyone. You're right here with Loveless and Beth.
That's going to make you want to put on your roller skates and shoot the duck right there.
Oh, man. Let me tell you something, everybody. I actually was on roller skates last night, thanks to brother Rashad Ahmad. Here in Santa Fe, he had a roll bounce party, and folks, after 35 years, I got on skates, and I lived to tell about it. Now, I was going to be okay if I had to make a little emergency room visit, as long as it was some appendage, a limb or something. I just didn't want to have a concussion to try to explain what happened. But no, I survived, and the skating rink was fun. Got to get on those skates more, folks. Great exercise. Beth, who is your winner this week? It's time for Winners and Winners. Who's your winners, Beth?
My winner is Croatia, who valiantly, till the bitter end, fought and defeated Russia yesterday. Since I don't have a team this year, U.S. didn't make it, Italy didn't make it, and then Mexico ended up losing after they won against Germany. I was cheering them on. So my take was anybody but Russia, and I got my wish yesterday. They were tied and went into overtime, and then had sudden death at the end, and it was a nail biter to the very end. So it was spectacular, and I enjoyed every tear shed by the Russians yesterday.
Yep, me too.
I totally made it political.
Yeah. My winner this week is, my winners are Allegra Love and all the people out here on the front line way before it was popular to support immigrants and support refugees. Allegra Love and others like her were on the front line doing that hard work, doing the heavy lifting, and they'll be doing it after this issue is no longer sensational. So to them, I say thank you, and you are my winners this week. Beth, we've had another great show. Next week, we've got one of our common sense conservatives. I'm not sure if it's going to be Matt Metcalf or James Gagliano, but it's about time for us to bring one of our common sense conservatives back, and we will indeed. Folks, I want to remind you, too, we've got a governor's race here in New Mexico, and we're going to be bringing on Congressman Steve Pierce, the Republican candidate, and we're also going to be bringing on Congresswoman Michelle Lujan Grisham, the Democrat, running for governor of New Mexico to talk about these national issues and how they are impacting New Mexico and how they would play out with either of them as our new governor. I've had a great time with you, Beth, and I hope you've had fun as well.
It's been great.
We want to remind everyone once again, if you want to find us on social media, all you got to do is look for Call to Reason. We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. And if you find us, you can interact with us and really enjoy doing so. Hit the share button also if you haven't already. If you're watching online, Loveless@SantaFe.com is where you can reach me in case you want to get on the show, if you want to be a part of the conversation, if you have a nonprofit that you'd like us to announce and support. Please do. I want to remind everyone that voting is not only important this year, it's going to be critical. And Beth and I will continue to talk to you about how you can do that. Until next week, Beth and I will be doing our homework, keeping up with what's going on, and we'll bring you something during the week, our weekly podcast, Call to Reasons, CTR on the side as well. Y'all stay tuned to that. Until next week, y'all have a good one. Stay tuned for Meet the Press. Beth and I will see you on the other side. Love you, Beth.
Love you too.
See y'all next
Bye,
week.
Team Red Pill.
Get yourself in gear. Keep your stride. Never mind your fears. Brighter days will soon be here. Take it from me someday.
You're listening to Talk 1260 KTRC AM at 1037 K279 CX FM Santa Fe and streaming live at SantaFe.com.
Sunday, breaking news. Rescue workers have begun to pull bones from that flooded cave. We'll have the latest from Thailand in just a moment. Also, courtside seat. President Trump prepares to announce his Supreme Court choice.
If you turn in Monday at 9 o'clock, I think you're going to be extremely happy.
Democrats hope to stick together in opposition and win over at least one Republican to defeat the nomination.
It would be very difficult for me to support a nominee who did not consider Roe v. Wade to be settled law.
It's a fight over the direction of the court for a generation or more. My guest this morning, Republican Senator Roy Blunt of Missouri and Democratic Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois. Plus, North Korea nuclear talks. North Korea says the U.S. attitude is deeply regrettable and accuses the U.S. of a gangster-like demand for denuclearization.
If those requests were gangster like they are, the world is a gangster, because there was a unanimous decision at the UN Security Council about what needs to be achieved.
Is this President Trump's mission accomplished moment? Also, the Russia investigation. Michael Cohen says his family and country have his first loyalty, and a Senate committee agrees that Russia tried to help Mr. Trump win the election. My guest this morning, President Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. Joining me for insight and analysis are Washington Post columnist Eugene Robinson, Danielle Pletka of the American Enterprise Institute, NBC News senior political editor Mark Murray, and Susan Page, Washington bureau chief of USA Today. Welcome to Sunday. It's Meet the Press.
From NBC News in Washington, the longest running show in television history, this is Meet the Press with Chuck Todd.